tuned for another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with Spider.
Hello, everybody. Spider here once again. WCN Zine with the man Donny St. John. Brother, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great, brother. I appreciate you jumping on here, man. I know we're all working, man. I mean, you just gotten off work and settled down with the kids, but I appreciate your time, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, I probably got a little bit of like soot on me and some flour and stuff. I literally just got home like 30, 40 minutes ago. Kids are sitting down playing video games and said, "Hey, leave me alone. I got some stuff to do." So
there you go, man. And I was gonna say too, man, because the reason I run into you, man, was through social media, but the fact that what you do is what got my attention on top of other things, bro. But I mean, where many of us are out there making that dough, man, you're literally making that dough, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do that sourdough thin crust pizza, and it's kind of like a weird. It wasn't like something I planned on really doing. It was the first job I ever had when I was 15. Was at a pizza place, and in the Bay Area where I'm from, and I was for buying BMX parts, feeding me and my grandma, and getting like tickets for punk rock shows and stuff. And in the back of that kitchen was like a bunch of other little punk rockers. And so I kind of like learned from there. And it was always something I had in the background. And I was a professional tattoo artist for like about a decade. And I had some carpal tunnel issues from all the fist fights and being a little rowdy and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to give it up. And I did all these different jobs, construction, delivery, worked for FedEx, this, that. And I was always miserable, but pizza was always something I'd kind of done in the background, just here and there, and it was fun. And I started doing my own sourdough when I moved to Oregon because I missed my sourdough and I missed all the food and all my stuff. So I started cooking and giving it to friends and gave it to a couple people that were chefs, and they were like, "This is really good." And I was like, "Oh, you think so?" And then it just kind of turned into like a little thing, a little side project. And my boss at the time at a bakery was giving me a hard time about not wanting to work 6 and 7 days a week anymore. And so eventually I was like, all right, fuck you. You're cool. I'm out. And
yeah, man.
I've been doing it for a little bit over a year, and the only income has been on pizza. It's been a trip. Yeah,
dude, let me ask you, man, because I mean, I myself had gotten self-employed, man. I mean, I've been working I was a postal employee 15 years. I left, I decided I wanted to do something I wanted to do. I started delivering furniture, man, but I was my own boss, made my own schedule, made my own money. And it was scary, bro, at first, because I was like, damn, I got to do this, But I mean, for you, man, how was it, man? Were you kind of nervous about making that jump?
Terrified. I was maybe a little more overconfident at first because I had my first weekend was like an event at this like fancy lavender farm right up here. These like really sweet old British couple that were just super fun as fuck. Right. And I went up there and I made like $1,400 in the weekend and was like, shit, this is like as much as I make, like more than I make in 2 weeks of 6 days a week, not seeing my kids, barely seeing my wife. And, and then with the weird conflict, my wife is like, fuck it. Like, you always work hard. Like, I'll work a little extra. Just do it. Just quit. And so I was like, all right. And then I've had so much support and help. It's like, I can't give it up. I'm like, I got to keep going. I got to push. And, we went from I literally had $0 in my bank. My last paycheck was $227. And I was like, I'm out of here. And, everything was going to hell, and made a little bit of money. And now I've made it to the point where we have a truck, a box truck. It's a 1977 Chevy box truck. And I'm getting all the things and squirreling them away, and little piece by here, sinks and tables and stoves and this and that. So we're going to completely make it our own, and it's going to be pretty fucking cool. It's come a long way in just a short amount of time with just grit. I was like, I work hard for all these other people. Like, why not I put some of that energy into myself for once? And,
oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly, man. And that's one of the things when I started doing deliveries, because I was like, you know what, man? I mean, for the post office, bro, like I never called in. I had so much sick leave. I never called in sick. I never missed work. I would stay late. I would come in early, and I was just like, man, like I'm making these freaking people shitload of money, man. Like, let me go ahead and make me some money. And
exactly.
But it was kind of like how you happened, dude, because like the first week I started doing deliveries, it was freaking slow, dude. Like the first month, and I was like, damn, freaking rent is coming up. Like, and I had money put aside, so I was like, okay, well, I have that. I got
Lucky, yeah.
dude, like it wasn't like that morning. It was like a Tuesday morning. I woke up and I was like, man, I got to make something.
Yeah.
I paid off my bills. I had like no food. I had a roof over my head, and I'm thinking, okay, like, what am I gonna do, man? And dude, like right there and then, like they call me, boom, from this one store, like, hey, we got a delivery, man. You want it? I'm like, dude, I'll take it.
Yeah.
That day, bro, I made like 16 deliveries, bro.
Holy
I was
shit.
freaking like, I got home late as shit, tired, hungry, and I was just like, damn, dude, like a blessing, bro. Like I was like, you know what, man, I can do this. And after
Yeah.
that, it was gravy, man. I was just freaking
Dude.
showing up, doing my deliveries, doing side jobs, hauling old furniture out. I mean, just like everything that I could do,
That's
making money and
amazing.
couple money. So I was like, man, I got something, and but yeah, man, I mean, it's just, it's like now, I mean, I do have a part-time job, but I mean, I miss it, man. I miss doing that full time just because, if I wanted to take the day off or finish early, I could just like, okay, schedule everything for tomorrow or for the rest of the
That's what
week
I'm talking about.
and
That's,
go that route, man. But yeah, man, but I mean, on top of that, bro, because you did make the move from California all the way to South Oregon, right? Which is where you
yes.
you're at. And
Correct.
I mean, as far as the move, what was that for, man? Family or how did that
It
go?
was it was for family. I don't really have much of a family. Like my parents are like kind of derelicts. My mom's clean and sober now. She's doing good, but she's in Florida. My dad's still like a sketchy ex-con that's out in the Bay Area doing his thing, and her parents live up here and they're super nice. And we wanted to be able to let them have grandparents a little bit. And we were like, paying like $3,000 for an apartment in Santa Rosa, and then we move up here and we're in a house with like a little bit of acres and stuff, and we're renting and everything, but it's nice. And my kids have a backyard because I got 3 boys. So 18, just turned 18, taller than me now, and then 9 and 7. And so the littles, we're like, go outside. Here's a trampoline. We got our little, above ground little trashy pool. They go jump around and swim in that, and
Oh yeah, dude.
it's pretty cool. It's nice. It's different. Culture shock. It's all like hicks and hippies out here, and then there's like me. I'm like, hey, but it's been kind of cool. And then through food, I've kind of found my niche because there's
Yeah.
no punk rock out here, a little bit, but not really. Like I came from a tight knit scene that I grew up in,
Right.
and there was punks and skins and metalheads and rockabillys and psychobillies and skaters and tattoo artists and all kinds of derelicts and train hoppers, and it's I miss that a lot, but
Oh yeah.
it was the move was for the kids to try to give them a little bit of a better life and let them be kids for a little bit, not have to grow up so fast.
No, for sure, man. And that's one of the things, man, because one of the things I keep hearing and I keep saying myself, it's just like, man, like, these kids now, they don't have a work ethic. A lot of them don't,
Mhm.
but it's like compared to what we went through, man, because like I said, I mean, I'm older, I turned 50 this year, but I mean, like late 80s, early 90s, man, those are some crazy times, bro. Like I wouldn't want my kids growing up around that time, like it was just like a whole different world. And the fact that they grew up, later on, I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, everything's different.
Yeah,
I have two daughters, man, and I raised them tough. I was always like,
yeah.
man, they fell down. I'm like,
Gotcha.
hey, yeah, like I was like, hey, get up. Like I wouldn't baby him. I wouldn't. And it's, there's a lot of people frown on it, man, but it's just like, for me, it was just like, you know what, man, I'm always going to be here, but I'm not always going to stop you. Like, you got to learn from your mistakes. You got to,
Yeah,
and they're doing great, man. I mean, they ain't perfect, neither am I, but I mean, they're doing
yeah.
great. They're working and doing their thing, and
That's
I
all
mean,
you'd ask for.
yeah, no, for sure,
That's
man.
the
But yeah,
American
I
dream.
mean, crazy times, dude. Like, I mean, you talk about the scene, you talk about the music and the shows, and staying late, and going
Yeah,
home early in the morning and waking up and doing it all over again, man.
yeah, yeah. There's lots of times like tonight, like I got done prepping at like 3 a.m. and then I'm up by 5:45 and out of the house by 6:10, so I can drive an hour to the little local farmers markets or wherever I'm doing my pop-ups and stuff a couple days. I do that multiple times a week, plus catering and any little thing I can find, So yeah, like I barely ever sleep.
No, yeah. What is sleep, right? I mean, I don't even now, man. Like, and we were talking about this earlier, man, because well, I was gonna bring it up, but I mean, like me, and my girl, we actually started working out Monday because one of the
Yeah.
things I always tell people, I was just like, you know what, man, I used to work out a lot. I came up through combat sports like MMA back in the '99, and
Oh, I love that.
jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, dude. And for me, towards the end, I was working out just to do you what I wanted, man. I'll be honest. It was for health, but I was like at the same time, I love to eat, man, and that's kind of like what I was,
Yeah, that's my vice. Yeah, for
So
sure.
now I'm like back at it, but I'm like, I can't eat like I used to, man. But it's like I still want to be able to treat myself here and there, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I started working out again, man. I'm gonna start, hitting up my friend's jiu-jitsu gym soon, man, and just start stretching again, because
Dude, that's the big thing. Because I went through a big transformation a couple of years ago, because I was also a big fan of martial arts, jiu-jitsu especially, and Muay Thai and everything.
Nice,
And
man.
so I was doing that pretty heavily for a while in Santa Rosa. I was at NorCal Fighting Alliance under Dave Terrell for a short amount of time. And then when I came up here, I found a couple dojos that were really awesome. And I was doing that. And then work was so crazy with working for all these other people and being so broke. I kind of fell off and I gained a bunch of weight and all that stuff. And I'd lost almost 100 pounds. I went from 278 back to almost my high school weight, which was 187, but I was like 189. And then I gained it all back because I wasn't stretching and taking care and doing all the maintenance. And like all the years of just BMX and rugby, skateboarding, punk rock, fighting and rumbles, and like, oh man, my body just tore up. So I'm in the process of trying to get out back again as well, because you don't use it, you lose it. I miss jiu-jitsu. I kind of want to compete. My older brother just opened up a dojo in Lake County, California. I'm super jealous because now he has that. It's deep water jiu-jitsu, and they just partnered with Team Alpha Male and Riot Faber and all that.
Oh, hell yeah.
So they're going under, it's a Team Alpha Male Lake County now is what they're going under. So check them out. They're pretty sweet. They've been around for just about a year now. Really, really cool, competitive, all ages. My little nephew Silas has had a couple little pay-per-view fights. He's like 10 years old, little scrappy little Greek kid. Yeah, he's adorable. Yeah.
Man, bro. Yeah, dude, because I have my buddy out there, Jamal Emmer's out there in Cali, and I know he's trained with Uriah on and off, man. But
that's awesome.
He's in the UFC too, so he's always cross training and getting those workouts, bro. So that's pretty cool, man.
Badass, yeah. That was always a dream. I was like, man, I wish I would have applied some of that anger when you're a kid and that rage into that sooner. But I was so used to being like the tough kid at the show or the tough guy in the bar. And then when you go into the dojo, you're like, oh shit, this 13-year-old is 140 pounds just out his way with me, because he's been doing jiu-jitsu since he's 7. I'm like, that's scary. I get humbled. That's why I like it though too.
People always ask me, because I was in the scene too when I started working out, and it actually took over my life, man. I mean, when I started working out, I got addicted to it. I was training, I had no kids at the time, so I was just like at the gym like 3 to 5 times a week. I was at the class, 4 or 5 times a week. I was running, I was swimming. It was good. I mean, my cardio was freaking great, man, and that was always my best technique, man. I used to tire everybody out, bro. So. But yeah, man, the first month, dude, I think I got out there, man. The first thing I learned how to do is tap, bro.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a tough guy enough to where I'm like, yeah, you probably get me right there. I'm like, all right, let's reset real quick. I'm not trying to pull it out. Like, I can't afford no injuries anymore, especially with the bad wrist and shoulder. I'm like, oh, I'm all haggard. But yeah, I love that. I want to get to a point where I can go do a couple competitions and stuff just in jiu-jitsu or whatever. I think that'd be so much fun. Like, I miss that kind of that adrenaline and all that stuff, because I'm not trying to get all crazy. I don't get in bar fights anymore,
Oh yeah,
But
it's self, it's just something you can actually wake up and be like, yeah, I can still do that. It's like
like a little like, oh, okay, I still. I'm still a little scrappy. I'm not as frail as I feel,
Yeah. No, and I was going to say too, man, because when I started training, I was actually teaching for a while under Carlson Gracie Senior, man, affiliation, right? And I had a class here in the morning. I was the first guy to teach to have jiu-jitsu classes in the morning, because I was working at night at the post office.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was doing that, dude. Like the team that I had like 32 students in the morning, bro. And it was like, I mean, I had, even then I was networking like crazy, man. So I had gotten a local Geared Up Nutrition, a local nutrition company that's still around. They were one of our sponsors. I used to have Academy Sports sponsoring us. I had Bad Boy Kimono sponsoring us.
Nice.
And it was like, we go to these events and people were like, man, who are you guys? It's like we come out of nowhere, man. But we were a nice little bunch, bro. It was pretty cool.
That's fucking awesome. There's an affiliate of Carlson Gracie that just opened up here in Ashland, which is about an hour from where I am. It's like kind of the
Oh,
close little area. That's where I was working at today. And the dude's super nice Brazilian cat. And he actually gave my kids a free lesson like a couple months ago because
damn.
there's like a little food spot. We were like waiting for food. I was like, oh, hey. And he adjusted to open it up. And he had his kids and they were kind of like putting mats down and doing stuff. And he like gave my kids like a whole like 45-minute lesson and was rolling with them and having hella fun, dude. So yeah, Carlson Gracie's definitely an amazing lineage to come through.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's kind of exciting. Yeah,
Yeah,
that might be
man,
the spot I was coming.
even like from the beginning, dude. Like I mean, for me, like the Carlson Gracie team, like with Mario Sperry and freaking Walid Ismail and all those cats, bro. In the beginning,
Yeah.
I mean, they were like the champion factory, man. So they were out there taking care of business, man. And that's kind of what I wanted to go after, you know. I was like, and it was pretty cool, dude. Because I will say this, man. I went to a seminar. I had talked to Carlson Gracie like a month before the seminar. I called the gym, right? And I'm like, hey, I said, hey, I'm calling from Texas. I said, you know, Master Carlson Gracie is supposed to come here. I just wanted. He's right here. Hold on. And I'm like, what the hell? He's like, hello. And I was like, yeah, you know, like I was shocked, dude, because I was like, I didn't expect him to be there, I guess, but
try not to fan out, like, oh my god,
man, like, I was just like, hey, Carlson. I said, it's Mario, and he's like, Mario, oh, habla español, and he starts talking in Spanish, and I was like, holy crap! I was like, dude, like, yeah, I speak Spanish, you know, so. I told him, I was like, hey, you know, I'm going to be going out to the seminar. And he's like, yeah. I said, you know what? I said, I want to get I said, how much to do a private? I said, I want to get ranked, man. I said, I'm a purple belt under a local guy here that was MMA more than anything. And he was like, yeah, show up. We'll talk. And sure enough, and I drove out there. He's using me for like some of the moves. And he tapped me out twice, dude. So I have that under me, man. He actually went for
cool.
a guillotine, man, tapped me out. And then he went for Kimura, tapped me out. And I mean, you know, so I was like, okay, you know, I can honestly say Carlson Gracie Sr. tapped me out, bro. So that's pretty dope.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, bro. But
I'm never washing this arm again.
I know, man. I'm walking around with the lock, still tapping. I'm like, shoot. But yeah, meet the guy. You know, we talked a little bit. I mean, I was supposed to go to a competition the next day, man. I had to go to work, man. So I didn't go. But you know, the last we talked, he was just like, yeah, you know, come to Chicago. We'll do a private, do a class, do another private, and you know, we'll rank you. And I'm like. It never happened, bro. But he ended up passing away a couple of months later, man. So that was that, unfortunately, man. But yeah, dude, it's pretty cool, man. You know, it's just I'm not saying it could have been, but who knows? You know, it's just some good times and definitely great memories, man.
Yeah, and hey, you know what? Life isn't over yet, dude. There's people in their 70s that are training to compete and kicking ass. And you look killer for saying you're 50. I don't even believe it.
Yeah,
I'm a little pissed off. I'm 39. I look haggard.
It's all that pizza dough, man. You got going, bro. It wears you out, man.
I know, right? It's all the sweet gluten, you know.
And let me ask you, bro. Talking about pizza, bro. When it comes to making it, what's a favorite for everybody that you make?
Well, I'm the way that I kind of do stuff is that I like when I started, I missed all the food I could get back home in the Bay Area. Like I miss having my al pastor, I miss having my tikka masala, I miss my banh mi, I miss all these things. So I started doing all these different weird things on a pizza because I do the sourdough crust. That's my thing, and then I do just different random stuff. So a lot of my more popular ones, like some of my simple ones, I've been doing a lot where people keep asking to do is like. I call it a Kingston Trio, and it's a pepperoni basil and then a hot honey from my homie Joey from Joey's Hot Sauce. Really, really good stuff. Really simple, just like delicious. What was I doing today? Another simple one I call my gruff, like Billy Goat Gruff. It's goat cheese, a chef, and green onions and a truffle oil finish. Let's see, during the summer, I have my summertime one, which is fennel, feta, and I have a cold salted watermelon that I finish it with. And people are always, because people trip about pineapple. So I was like, well, how can I push this and like, you know, kind of bother some people here? And it's so funny because people be like, what the fuck? And then they'll eat it. Like I have some reviews, like first bite responses on my page. Yeah. And they're like, I thought that was going to be crazy, but that actually works really good, you know? So I try to do like fun, weird stuff that pushes it a little bit and then features a lot of like the local artists, like the local butchers, the cheese shop, Rogue Creamery is right by us. They were on like Top Chef a couple times. Like there's a lot of amazing stuff here, but I didn't feel like a lot of people were putting it together. Like the produce and the meat is gorgeous out here, but I'm like, how come every place isn't amazing? You know, like half the taco shops have burritos with white rice on it, you know, and I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, this is
Yeah,
offensive, you know? And so I started doing stuff like that. I don't know. I did my most recent one that I really liked that people were kind of excited about was my version of like a Hawaiian pizza, and it was a Kahlua pulled pork, and then I made a charred pineapple relish with some spicy pickles for my buddy Joey, the hot sauce guy again, and some bell peppers and onions and garlic and roasted corn and stuff like that. And I had like a little bit of a tangy barbecue sauce drizzle, and that was really fun. And people were like, "What is going on here?" You know.
Man, let me ask you, because I saved this photo, man. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about. I was going to ask you, what is this right here, bro?
Oh, that was the one I did the other day. It was we called it that King Kong. And so what I did, I have this whole series of dessert pizzas. I call them sweetzas, and try to trademark that. And what this was a chocolate ganache. It's a 3-part ganache. So I made like a creme fraiche with fresh bananas and pureed and cooked that down slow and low to really get that flavor in there with a little bit of Tonkin bean. And then I had another one that was a citrus ganache that I did myself. And then I mixed like a banana again into a ganache and mixed all 3 of them as like the base. And so I had this creamy, chocolatey banana with a little bit of that Reese's peanut butter mixed in as well. And then I have like the fresh bananas, fresh strawberries, and I did like a graham cracker crumble crust that I like did little chunks of all around and stuff.
Getting hungry out here, man.
Hey, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty dank. I'm not gonna lie. It smells amazing coming out of the oven too. It smells almost like brownies or something, but with like those fruity.
Yes, bro.
It's pretty fun.
And man, and the fact that because I think on one of your posts, somebody had I guess they donated some of the local cheese, right? Or you ended up using somebody's.
Yeah. I got one of my friends, Jeremy Cantrabone. I probably said his last name wrong. It's like a French fancy name, but he's like a head cheesemaker at Nicasio Valley in Marin, like Novato, California. And he's also in some punk rock bands. Let's see, he was in like Hunting Lions and I think Roadside Bombs too. Nice. And they're like the older generation of punk rockers that I kind of grew up around, you know. And it's just cool. It's like a small world. And so he had this amazing cheese. And I just did I went back to the Bay Area to do a pop-up to help raise money for Jerry Dela Cruz. He's one of our friends that has cancer in the scene, and so they did like a little show, and then I donated half of everything I made at the pizza spot, and some other dudes made tacos and donated money.
Oh, nice, man.
So it was really cool. And so he was like, "Hey, I'm coming to this event. Let me bring you some cheese," and he gave me some crazy fromage blancs that he made, which is like a really creamy, like a cow version of a goat cheese, like that creamy shed. You know? And so he had one that was like a jalapeno that was like the perfect amount of spice and like this smooth, beautiful one with the basil. I mixed that with some handmade pasta I've been making and stuff and practicing that. And so I mixed that in with some pastas. It's unreal stuff. He had a really beautiful brie. And then I did that with some pears. I pickled some onions. I crushed up some walnuts. I had that brie cheese. And then I finished it with some arugula sprouts. And that was a really good like little vegetarian pizza I did the other day. It was pretty bomb.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm telling you, man, because some of the stuff I've been seeing you make, bro, and I can't even smell it, but it looks damn good, bro. So I know, I know it's got to be good. But let me ask you, bro, because you said earlier you ended up, I guess, owning the word sweetsa, because I saw that and I'm like, what is that? But it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to like trademark it or whatever, but it's just something that I just came up with. Coming up, like, I think it came from tattooing or something, where it's always like you want the one liner that fits in a banner, like a silly little thing with the tattoo, you know. And so I just being silly, and I'm like, oh, it's like a sweet pizza, and then and I've done, like I said, a whole series. I have one that's a deconstructed s'more, so it's literally like I do that ganache. That's what I started doing, the ganache, and I do like a plain milk chocolate ganache. Maybe with a little bit of sea salt in there. And then I have marshmallows and the graham cracker crumble with like cinnamon and cardamom on that. And it smells like a campfire. It's like unreal. I do another one I call Don't Call Me Shirley, which is a deconstructed Shirley Temple. And so I had like a grenadine base with the mascarpone. So it was like looks like the mozzarella and the red sauce, but then I candied really thin slices of lemons and limes for the 7-Up. And then I finished it with some maraschino cherries and everything. So it had all those elements of the toughest drink you can order at a bar, you know, Shirley Temple. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Damn, dude, well, let me ask you, man. I mean, when it
Yeah.
comes to inspiration, bro, because I'm sure, like you said, you're using what's around you right now. But I mean,
Yeah.
as far as music, man, do you jam out while you're out there working?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Most of the time, I'll listen to like a lot of ska stuff because
Yeah.
sometimes the oi will scare people that don't get the difference between like skinheads and boneheads or whatever, you know. So I try to be a little more gentle. So I'll be listening to like a lot of stuff like the Selector, the
Yeah.
Specials, Tooch, Jimmy, Desmond.
Hell yeah.
This newer band I just got into called the Chains. They're pretty fucking
Oh
sick. They're
shit.
from Europe somewhere. They got a couple songs out. You can find them on iTunes. And
Nice.
just like stuff like that, like little fun, or I'll listen to like oldies and doo wop and
Yeah.
something I can kind of jam to that's a little more mellow. But if I had my choice, I'd be playing a bunch of oi and crazy stuff, or some
Heck yeah, bro.
gangster
Man,
rap from the Bay Area.
I got one for you, man. When it comes to, because this is your logo right here, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Steel toe Doko. I saw this and I was thinking, you know what'd be freaking great for you to do, man, and I hope you do this, is
Yeah.
find a pattern to where maybe you can replicate the sole of the boot on the pizza, bro, and just kind of like freaking blend it in there and
Do a
put
little
your pizza on there, bro.
Dude, I've been trying to figure out a way to draw that for a while. That's funny you say that. I don't have a business card on me, but on the back of my business cards, it's little boot prints. Like it
Yeah.
looks like a little boot prints, and there's 7 of them. And I have a stamp that looks like a drippy pizza, and I do stamps. So when you get 7 of them, you get a free slice.
Oh,
Because
hell
that was like
yeah.
the closest I could do with like Vistaprint, like trying to make it happen. I'm like, how can I do that? I don't really draw anymore because my hand's garbage, so I get all frustrated with it. So
Yeah,
I don't
bro.
mess with it, but I've been kind of trying to do that. And then I had a friend that did the Homer logo. I don't know if you saw that on my
Yeah,
page,
yeah.
but one of my old buddies I used to tattoo with, T-Von, he took all my tattoos and placed them all where Homer would be and like modified it to look like look like me. It was pretty sweet. It was pretty
Dude.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, bro. I mean, there's so much stuff as far as creativity because, like, I mean, the pizza dough is basically your canvas, man. So whatever you put on there, it's gonna freaking work.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing where it's like what color makes what color pop. It's like
Yeah,
what flavor makes what flavor pop. You want to try to have all
yeah,
the different
bro.
levels and have it complement and not be too much, too heavy. You want it
Yeah,
to be balanced and you want someone to enjoy it, be interested by it, and like be full, but not be like feeling gross. So
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
try to find that balance. At least that's what I try to do.
Man, you
Ideally.
mentioned jalapenos earlier, bro. I'm
Oh
big with
yeah.
jalapenos, bro. I love putting that stuff on everything.
Everything.
And
Everything.
one of the local vendors here, they actually have their own jelly, but it's like a strawberry infused jalapeno jelly. And
Ooh, that
dude,
sounds
like,
amazing.
bro, it tastes freaking great, bro. Like I've been putting that like on my meats in the morning. I'll make a quick
Oh
breakfast,
fuck yeah.
dude. But that stuff, I mean, yeah, dude. I mean,
Right,
they
right
told me,
there. I'm thinking like a shortbread crumble on that with that topping. Oh yeah,
dude.
we're already spitballing right there. That's amazing.
But yeah, man, because I'm the guy. Like if I go to the movies and I kind of got my girl doing the same thing, man. Like we order popcorn and I always tell them, hey, fill it up halfway, put jalapenos in it, then fill it up again and put more jalapenos. Cause that butter with that
Ooh,
jalapeno, bro, dude,
dude, that sounds
that stuff
amazing.
is freaking genius, bro. Like I love that stuff, man. But yeah, combos, dude. I love that stuff. I mean, because for the most part, like you said, I mean, one complements the other, man. Before you know it,
Yeah,
man, you got freaking masterpiece, bro.
yeah. See that? And that's you know, um, kind of I obsess on it and being out where I don't have all my boys and everything. I just have my kids, my lady, and like a couple little friends every once in a while. But I don't really go out and do stuff because there's not
Yeah,
anything to do out here. So I'm just kind of messing around, reading or looking up something, or I'm watching like Top Chef or whatever.
yeah,
And then I'll hear something. I'm like, what the fuck's fennel? Why is everyone talking about fennel? And then I'll be like, oh, that's licorice. And I'll go on a deep dive and then try to find like what pairs with that. Like what's a fun thing that's savory and weird and blah, blah, blah,
yeah, dude.
and then I just go down a rabbit hole. My wife comes out and she's like, it's 4 a.m. What are you doing? I have like a book open, my phone open with like a recipe, and then I'm like watching a cooking show and I'm like trying to like do it all. And I'm like writing notes and stuff. She's like, what the? And she'll just go like, all right, good night. Just goes back to bed. I'm coming to bed in a
Man.
minute.
And I was gonna say, man, are you guys the first one to try this stuff? Like, if you make something, is it like, okay, we're gonna eat this? Are they the first ones to taste?
Usually, yeah. I know my wife she complains about it. I mean, she's always like, yeah, you're always feeding me. I'm so fat now. I'm like, dude, you look better than ever. It's crazy. But Yeah, my kids still love it, but they ruin everyone's birthday parties because they always complain about everyone else's pizza. You
Oh
know,
man.
so they'll be like, "Oh, this pizza's garbage compared to Dad's." I'm like, "Shut up, shut up." But but yeah, so we do definitely do a lot of experimenting, and that was really how it all started. Because I was like, I miss eating this kind of food. I miss
Yeah.
tikka masala. I miss a good pastor. You know, I can't get it anywhere around here, and I make an okay one, but it's still not like back home in the Bay Area. You know, I had I grew up kind of right on the outside of like Sebastopol Avenue, and there was all these just amazing taco shops and trucks and everything. And then my shout out to Las Palmas in Santa Rosa, they're right across from the tattoo shop I worked at forever, and that's the best pastor ever had in my life. And everything is that's where I judge it all from. I'm like, every other pastor is bullshit. This is the catalyst. This is and I'm trying to figure out how to make that one. You know,
No,
haven't
no.
perfected it yet.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm sure it will, man. I mean, you've been doing this. How long have you been opened up as far as running on your
Uh,
own?
a little over a year now. It's been like
Oh,
a year and a few months, like about a year and 2 months exactly. And
oh,
I've been
good,
making pizzas 25 years of
man.
my life on and off. But, you know, doing this is that's the only income I've had is from pizza, which
Yeah.
is crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and let
But
me ask you because I mean, having worked with pizza for 25 years, man, when it came to making the dough and doing that whole spin, bro, I mean, did you actually do all that?
yeah, I can do that. I definitely can do that. My dough gets a little tricky because it's sourdough, so it's
Yeah,
fermented, so it'll be a little more delicate. Like on a hot day, it gets
yeah.
a little tricky. But yeah, I can definitely throw them. I can't do all the
Okay.
crazy fancy like keeping it spinning for hours like some of the wild people do. But I can toss it a couple times, have my kids think I'm cool still. So, you
No,
know.
yeah, just enough for them to turn around and then you stop, right? You're like, okay,
Yeah,
that's enough.
exactly. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, they just
Man.
get the glimpse. It's like Bigfoot. You know, little
And the
glimpse
reason
in
I
the
was
woods.
asking, I was trying to find that video, man. A buddy of mine had told me the other day because I brought it up and I said, dude, I can't find that video. It's from a hardcore band when they're doing all these dances and one of them's doing the pizza dough and they're like
Yeah,
swinging around.
that's
But I was
hilarious.
I don't know which one it is though, man. I don't know if I mean I looked up like Chromags and Sick of It All, and I'm like, damn, it's got to be one of those, man. But
It's got to be East Coast. It's got to
yeah,
be an
oh
East Coast
yeah,
video
yeah,
for
shoot, out
some
there in
Jersey.
New York, man. I mean,
Yeah,
but yeah,
some
man, I'm
dirty
trying to
Jersey.
find it, man. I was gonna say, dude. I mean, if you actually get that done, dude, that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, I'll try to collab with them. I'm gonna look that up too. I'm gonna find
Yeah,
it.
bro, dude, you can actually make your own. Hell, dude, make your own
Yeah,
video, man.
right. I know.
Let
I
me,
need to do that. I've been wanting to do like the videos of me, like how they do like the little stop motion of you like making stuff and all that kind of. I was like, my older brother was like, you need to do stuff like that and like
bro.
have you talk about the food because it's one thing when I'm like, here's a picture, but for some reason when I talk about it, then people are like, oh, they're like more interested in it. You know,
Yeah.
maybe because I'm so excited and like curious about it. You know, I kind of infect them. I don't know. But
No,
yeah,
and I was gonna say it does help, man, because even I've been messing with these damn videos, bro, and it picks up the viewings, because people want to
yeah,
see cool shit. So I would throw. I've been doing my perk and throwing like all these like freaking songs from bands I've listened to,
oh yeah,
new bands I'm listening to, from oi to ska to hardcore punk rock,
yeah.
horror punk. I mean, all this stuff, dude. So, it's pretty fun, dude. I mean, it's on Instagram or Facebook. There's no like copyright infringement. They just use it for the quick vid,
Yeah.
and I plug them in too. So that's the whole name of the game. I'm trying to give everybody exposure. So I say, hell, why not?
Yeah. There's enough room for everyone to build everyone up. Like that's the kind of mentality that we need to be having, and I think that's from our generations. I don't know if they really have that as much in the younger generations of punk rock, especially, but like, it's like we're it. We gotta support each other. Like when I went to that fundraiser for my friend, it's like
Yeah.
we don't have health care. He's a barber and worked at a record shop forever. You know what I mean? Like he's just like me, he's just like you, he's just like all these other
Oh
people where
yeah, man.
he's worked his whole life and doesn't have that 401k and the healthcare and all that. So it's like we need to come up and be together and then support each other. The whole DIY element of punk rock, needs
Yeah,
to
you see, man,
be
and
back.
that's one of the things too, because I've been interviewing a few of the bands already, man, and even from that zine that we used to have back in the mid '90s,
Yeah,
a lot of it, what I liked, I mean, the zine itself was the DIY. We used to just freaking, I used to literally cut and paste with scissors, bro, glue, go to
that's
Kinko's,
fucking
take Xerox
awesome.
copies,
That's
mailing
punk rock.
letters. Yeah, dude, mailing letters to
Period.
bands, like getting them like three weeks later, 4 months, a month later. But you know, I got to interview a lot of good bands, bro. Like, I mean, I had The Oppressed on there. I had Sick of It All on there. I
Yeah.
had you know, Over Wonderland from Cali back in the day on there, man.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing on it, man, was that here I was, like, you know, in the middle of Texas, bro, San Antonio, and I started like reaching out, you know, writing letters, bro, to these record labels.
Yeah.
And one of them was in New Mexico, and he calls me up out of the blue one day, and he was like, "Hey, you know, this is John, you know, from Vulture Rock Records, right back in the
Whoa.
day."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah," and I said, "Okay," and he's like, "Yeah, man, you sent me a letter," and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, man, what's up?" And we start talking, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, how's the scene out there?" And I said, "Dude, it's pretty good." And he says, "Hey, man, if I send you some music, man, can you sell it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, hell yeah, dude." So he sends me like a box. I mean, back then it was like $500 worth of vinyl, bro. Like freaking,
Yeah.
you know, t-shirts, buttons, and I opened it up, and I'm like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like, I start hitting up the record shops, dude, and like,
Yeah.
dude, I sold that shit like within a week, bro. That shit was gone.
Dude,
So
what
I
a
sent him,
cool fucking
I sent
job.
him, yeah, bro. He sent me an invoice. I sent him a money order. He calls me
Yeah.
right back, like, "Hey, can I send you more stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro." So he's like, "Hey, well, what do you want on the zine? Like, I'll carry it." And I say, "You know what, man? Just send me some extra vinyl, and we're good. Like, I'll send you some copies."
Yeah.
But because of that, I started working with Headache Records out there in New York, New Jersey. You know, from the
Yeah.
Ratchet ones back in the day. I
Yeah.
started working with them. I started working with Bronco Bullfrog. I started working with Helena Boy. Like, I started working with all these late. Everybody was sending me music, bro. Everybody, dude. And it was like right before CDs were coming around. You know,
Yeah.
vinyl
Yeah.
was pretty hot, but
That's a punk rocker's dream right there.
yes, dude. I mean, and that's what I tell people, man. I just
Yeah.
burnt out and freaking like, but dude, I mean, I was young and dumb, but man, the things I could have done with that, bro, and I regret it, you know. But it's just like it happened for a reason, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get back into it and just start networking, you know, kind of
Fuck
like
yeah.
what, I mean, like the whole coming soon podcast, man. I cover horror movies, like indie films, indie music, and I
Hell
said,
yeah.
you know what, dude, I'm gonna go ahead and start plugging in like the scene again, man, and just started, you know, give it
Yeah, because
a
it's
little revamp.
booming and we're starting to all the the older guys like us are like, dude, we missed that camaraderie and we're like,
Oh
dude,
yeah,
we're
hell yeah.
reaching out and there's all this online, online abilities, which is good and bad, but it's cool to be able to still be connected. Like I still get to like talk to my friends that are going to shows and see the pictures and hear the music and learn bands like easy as heck now on Instagram.
I
I'll
know.
see some bands and I'm like, who's this? And I'm like, oh wow. And I'm just like, my playlist is just growing every day,
Yeah,
finding
bro.
all kinds of cool shit, and
Yeah, man, and that's
that
what
was
I've
one
been
thing
doing.
that's the upside.
I've been digging, like trying to find new bands, new music, and I'm finding it, dude. I'm like going down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, damn, 3 hours later, and I'm like, Jesus, you know, like all these
Right?
bands I picked up. But yeah, dude, I mean, we actually have a paper zine, you know, me and my friend Tony out there in Houston, man, and we're gonna drop it mid October. I'm shooting for, man, but we're gonna have a little bit of everything. It's gonna be on paper format because it's going to be every 3 months. Like I want to keep, you know, I still want to be able to plug this into to the
Yeah,
podcast. You know, it makes
yeah.
sense. But yeah, dude, we're going to be doing our part and just try to, you know, I mean, give something back and, you know, hope people appreciate it and can take it for a spin, man.
That'd be sick. You got to send me some, and I'll go like put a stack in
Yes.
a skate shop in Grants Pass, and we got another one in Medford. The kind of like little punk rock, little edgy
Yeah,
skate shop
man.
things. So just to get kids into it. There's like I said, there's not much of a scene here, but there's some kids that do the Sound Lounge out here in Grants
Yeah.
Pass, and they're trying to get a bunch of shows, and some of the pirate punk kids are out here trying to do some stuff. So I want to try to figure out a way to bring like a scene here because I'm literally where we are is smack dab between Portland and San Francisco, right in the middle, right on I-5. And so I just tell all these bands, I'm like, if you're driving up to Portland, if you're driving to San
All over.
Francisco, let me know a day in advance. I'll make you some food and I'll bring it to the freeway for you for your road trip, just to kind of get people to want to come and stop out here. I'm like,
Dude, that's actually pretty. It's a pretty good bribe, man.
yeah, I'm like, hey, I'll give you pizza, maybe stay over the night and camp out on my property and do a little local show or
Dude.
something, just trying to something, because
Even if it's just for you, right? They can just pay
yeah.
for you, man. Hell, dude.
And like you play a show for 3 people before, right? Like me and my
Oh
2
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're used to it, especially during the week. You know, they get those slow
Yeah.
shows, man. So,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah,
I'm like,
but
here,
yeah,
it's a Wednesday afternoon show. How do you feel about
yeah.
that? Yeah.
I know. Actually, I think it was and I missed it, bro, and I freaking regret it, man. But Piston Broke, I came through like a couple
Ooh,
weeks
fun.
back, And it was during the week too, man. And I was running around. I took my oldest kid somewhere. By the time I got home, I was freaking tired and
Over it.
I didn't go, man. But that would have been damn, dude. I freaking, but I missed out, man. But I mean, sure, there's more coming. I mean, there's actually a couple more bands coming up this coming month. So the Exploited, I'm gonna be out there in Austin checking them out. Dude. I've seen them in years.
They're fun live, a lot of energy. I remember
Bro.
that was one of the early punk rock bands I got into. And I remember just being like, whoa, like they're so gnarly. And I was just like, fell in love,
No, hell yeah.
There's a show I want to go to in November in San Francisco that's coming up. One of my favorite bands ever, the Reducers SF. Really great oi band, is amazing. And one of the members unfortunately passed this last year. And I thought they were never going to play again, but now they're opening up for the Templars. And so it's going to be an ultra sect, I believe, which is a couple of my other buddies are in that. And it's going to be a pretty neat little thing. So I'm hoping I can make it back down. That's in November on the 9th, I think. So I'm hoping I can make it back for that. Because like I said, my kids are old enough now where we can leave them a little bit. They're 7 and 9. They can stay the weekend. And so I'm like, I want to get back into, I've been dad mode forever. And I'm like, man, I miss my people and my scene and having everyone being all rough and rowdy with each other. And I miss like walking up and you're outside on the sidewalk and you're like boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, and your heart starts beating.
Dude, everything starts pumping, Nick.
Yeah,
you're like, makes you feel alive, bro.
Yeah, you're like, oh, my knee doesn't hurt as bad right now. I'm gonna go jump around,
I know. I was gonna say too, man. That's when you don't feel anything, but you will once you get home, though, man.
Yeah. The next day, I'm like, I'm 90 years old. This is great,
bro. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, dude. Because I mean, like I said, there's a couple of bands coming through, man. So I'm definitely gonna be out there. There's a nice little tour, man, and I'll definitely see Uncough and a couple other bands that are coming through. And it's gonna be like on a Thursday or something. And I was like, damn, man, like I'm contemplating it, dude. But I was like, man, I'm gonna go even if I just gotta sit there and watch them, I'm not getting in no damn pit, dude. But I definitely want to go out there, get some photos, get some video, and interview them, man, while they're out there. Grab a little something.
Awesome. Take some merch, throw out some merch, get some little kids rocking your stuff. Like, dude, that's what I do out here. I got a couple little skateboarders. There's like a couple little skaters that shred, and I give them merch and free slices. And I like tell kids, I'm like, hey, you like come in with a new clip, you do something sick, I'll hook you up with a slice, and I try to do that to kind of promote it. And I'll have them wearing my shit, and they'll like repost my story or whatever, so like the younger generation sees it.
No, hell yeah, dude. I still skateboard too, man. I still suck like I did in the 80s, man. But I still go out there and freaking do my thing, man. But it's pretty dope, man. I mean, I can't do it too long, dude. That's the only downfall, man. Like if I stay out there too long, my damn knees will, freaking hate me for like a week.
Yeah, I turned to jello nowadays. I'm like, I don't got that pump like I used to. I used to be able to carve like a motherfucker. Now I'm like, oh god, okay, I'm done. That was like one push. Like, we're done. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. Hold on, kids. I'll be right back.
I told my oldest one time because we were at the park and I could still land varios and kick flips and shoves and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm landing stuff, and she was like, "Oh," and I said, "You know what?" I said, "I used to be able to ollie on picnic tables." And she was like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I used to be able to ollie on them." And she's like, "For real?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "But now I just sit down and eat on those damn things, man." I said, I can't ollie on them no more, man.
Yeah, straight up, dude.
But I was just like, man. And right when I said that, I felt it, dude. I was like, damn, dude. Like, yeah, bro. Like, I'm taking that with me. We used to do like the most I ollied off was 14 steps, man. That was like the biggest one. I slammed hard, like one of them, but I landed
big on a skateboard. Yeah.
And, freaking caveman. I landed the caveman off those steps too, man. I was but yeah, bro, it's just good times, man. I mean, that's probably why my elbow hurts, bro. Who knows? Everything like that.
Yeah, I got a sweet weird little like weird split in my elbow I've had from trying to bomb a hill when I was a kid. You can still feel it. Where it's like not quite broken off, but like the tip of it's like it's there. It's hanging in there. Like it wants to go, but it's still hanging on for some reason. So thanks, Grandma, for all that milk growing up.
Oh yeah, dude. That's what I tell people, man. I want to thank my skateboard for keeping me off the streets, man. I was on the sidewalk, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
man, bro. And let me ask you. I mean, when it comes to making pizza, man, because of course, is that where everything's gonna stop? I mean, are you happy just doing that?
I that's kind of where I planned on it, and then I've just been playing and experimenting. The more I'm like learning and techniquing and doing all those different things, I'm like, this is kind of fun. And so what I want to do once my truck is done is pizzas and pastas, because I figure like with a ravioli or raviolo, you know, the big ones, like it's the same thing with a pizza. Anything you can put on it, you can put inside this, you know, and you can do any kind of sauce and you can do this and that. And so I've been playing and trying to perfect that because I like eating stuff and I like to eat. I want to eat like nice fancy shit that I don't get to eat. You know, like my kids are spoiled. Like I didn't know what a ribeye was until I was like 34.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what do you mean steak? Like I don't fucking get that. Like I'm lucky if I get a fucking Whopper.
Yeah, I was gonna say a burger. You're talking about a burger?
You know, like on a like only when I was coming home from juvenile hall, my grandma would take me to get a burger like that. You know, most of the time we're eating at home. But you know, my kids are spoiled because I'm like, like tonight it's like 7:00. I haven't even started yet, but I'm gonna hand make some gnocchi that I have with this Japanese purple yam, and like just do some crazy stuff. And I got some Swiss chard and a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna mess around and do with it and everything. So it's like my kids are pretty spoiled, but yeah, I'd like to do that and like some fun little desserts. I've been working on like Basque cheesecakes. I've been obsessed with that because my middle son loves cheesecake, and so I've been trying to like make his perfect one since his last birthday, and it's become like a mission now to like get it just right and have like the right little sear and the right consistency with like a little bit of thick, and it's almost like a flan in the middle, you know. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. There's so much stuff you can do with that, bro. I mean, you can, and that's what I was asking because I was like, dude, I mean, I know you'd be able to do other stuff, man, but I was just like, man, with the pizza alone, especially with pasta now, I mean, you start doing that's it, brother. That's gold.
That's what I'm saying. And it's just like I just want to have fun and I want to do something that I don't hate. And I want to show my kids that if you work hard, like it's one thing to work hard for other people, that's great too. But if you can apply that same energy and like do something for yourself, you know, and like just not be an asshole, like things work out, you know. And so that's what I'm like, I want to be able to show them because I didn't have those influences growing up. And I just want to show them like just don't give up. And that's a big reason why I haven't quit. Like if it just been me, I probably would have quit after month 3, you know, but it's like, I can't, I've had help. I've had support. People have donated to me. I had a GoFundMe going and like, and then my kids see it and they're proud of it. And they're excited to like, when they have like a leftover slice of pizza, they're going to like argue with their friends at school. Like, oh, let me get a piece of that. They're like, no way. And, you know, they're like, you know, they're trading for a couple pudding cups and stuff, you know, just for like a bite of my pizza. So like, it's cool to be able to kind of have that. And, you know, like I said, I just want to show them that if you just work hard, like don't give up, things will come your way. You know, it might take a while, you know, and you just got to keep the faith and just not be a dick, basically, you know.
Yeah, man, I agree, bro. Because even like we talked earlier about making that step and going, you know, as starting like you know your own business. I mean, I still have my delivery company, but it slowed down a lot. But one of the things I always told myself was like, man, I am my own best employee, man. Like I'm dependable. I'm always on time. I'm professional. I get things done. I'm safe. And I was just like, dude, like. You know, I mean, helpers that I've had, like everybody flaked out and people, you know, they don't want to work weekends. And I was just like, you know what, man, I'm just going to do it myself, bro. And I did, you know, I was like,
that's what it comes down to where you're like, you know what, like, just like, I want that, you know, if I'm going to have a bad day and sleep in, it's just affecting me, you know, and maybe my family, but it's like, I'm not letting anyone down. You know, no one's letting me down. I've had a lot of people let me down. So it's like, to be able to do that and kind of pave your own way and steer your own ship is pretty special. And that's the American dream in anything, in any way, you know, like,
oh yeah, bro.
I agree. And, you know, and especially coming where we come from, like, you know, being kind of like, you know, a little dirty punk rock kids or whatever, for lack of better terms. It's like, you know, it's like, right on, dude, you're fucking doing something you want to do and you're making it. You know what I mean? You got a studio, you look like you got things going on, you dress clean, you got your gear, your logos on, like, you know, you're doing it, you know, and it's cool. And I'm just
you see, and let me say this, bro, because initially when I started the WCN, you know, it stands for Working Class Nobody.
Yeah.
And for me, even back then, it represented like the everyday people that are just doing the everyday grind, you know. And we never make the paper, we never come out on the news because nobody wants to hear that, you know. But that's what it represents, and that's kind of what it represents now, man. It's just like, I want to get back to the people that are like, we're already older. We, you know, we got mortgages, or you know what I mean. We got bills and doing the adult thing, but Yeah, it still represents that, man. And it's actually a note from a movie that with that guy Ed O'Neill, man, from Al Bundy, right?
Yeah, I love Ed O'Neill.
Yeah, but he's in the movie, and in the movie, he tells the kid, he's like, "Listen, kid, I'm a working class nobody. He's like, nobody appreciates me. I just do what I do." And I was just like, dude, when I heard that, I was like, boom, like I'm gonna use that. That just stuck with me, and
it resonated.
Kept it, man.
Hell yeah, that's beautiful, and that's like a lot of what the boots and the working class and the steel toes. Like obviously the punk rock and the sharp element of that, but it's more than that. It is the working class, the boots on the ground, the people of all nationalities, sexualities, all the dispositions, whatever. That just fucking do it. They're like, I got no choice. I have to do this, or I'm on the fucking street. Like
exactly.
and that's what I want to do. Is I want to be able to provide like an experience where it's a little more fun, a little elevated, but like it's still like from there's effort and there's energy put into it, and it's accessible to everyone. It's not just some ridiculously high end thing, And I try to keep my price as low as I can because I want someone that's like me who's like. Fuck, like, $45 is expensive for a pizza, but like this is a little fancy and it's like a little special and it's a little different, and I'm getting like an experience, and I can't get just anywhere, I want people to not feel ripped off because I've been ripped off my whole life, and so to try to give back to that working class and like give it a little homage and like bring it up and be like, we're in this together, like is important to me, and that's why I liked when we were kind of talking, riffing back and forth online. I kind of like scoped you out and stuff. I liked what I saw, and I felt like I'm like, this guy, it feels like you get it too, like it feels like a kindred spirit, which is that older punk rock generation of where like we're just figuring out a way to do it. We're putting out a zine. I'm cutting and pasting all my shit myself and sticking, and I'm putting flyers up on every pole and trying to it's like it's a dying art form,
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, man, people don't do that anymore, and they should, man, because it works,
Yeah, and it's cool, and it keeps it where it's like, hey, man, if the fucking power goes out, you know what? I can still hand you a flyer. You're not gonna get a fucking, you're not gonna get a text message or whatever. You know what I mean?
I like that, bro.
Yeah.
No, but it's true, man. And I was gonna say this, man, because one of the things my oldest told me one time, and she was like in middle school.
Yeah.
And I forgot, we were driving somewhere, I picked them up, and we were talking, and she's like, you know what, Dad? She's like, one of the things I like about you is that you're always trying new things, and even when you don't make it happen, like you still keep going.
Yeah.
And dude, that was like the best thing I could have heard like ever, bro. But I was just like, damn, she's watching, and that's one of the man. Yeah, bro. It's just like, the same thing with them. They're, like I said, they're doing great. They're reliable, they're working, they're doing their thing, and it's just like, I mean, all I can do is wish them the best, bro, to just keep going. It's like I tell them, I said, with life, I said, you're gonna screw up. I said, the trick is not to screw up too bad, man.
Yeah, right. Do it when you're young, and then you chill out when you get older. That's kind of what I did. I was pretty wild, and then I mellowed out. Luckily, I came into being like basically like a guard dog at a grow house, and then tattooing for my bar tab, to like all of a sudden I was like a stepdad to like a 4-year-old, and it was like, wait, I gotta like pay bills every month and like not care if I move to some other place and like have consistency. I was like, oh shit, like I gotta be an adult. So it took a minute, but that saved my life, really. I'd probably be dead or in prison or, some weird, sad, lonely dude at the end of the bar, trying to, fucking hit on anything just to get a little bit of attention, So
pissed off and belligerent, just yelling at the world.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like a day away from being in my whitey tighty spraying kids with the hose on my lawn. That's my frisbee now, little Billy.
Man, bro. Man, I'm telling you, man. But dude, I mean, bro, and I know I was telling you, man, because for the most part, dude, I mean, I appreciate you jumping on here, man, first and foremost.
Yeah.
I did want to keep under the hour mark just so that I can actually share this on Instagram, otherwise I won't share it. But I want to bring you back on, bro. I mean, I definitely want to bring you back on and keep the conversation going, man. I know we both got a lot to say, so probably
I'm a chatty Cathy. I'll talk all day long, especially about food, music, skateboarding, flat-faced dogs.
What else is there?
Yeah,
exactly. What else is there, man? That's it. That's all we got to talk about, man. But yeah, brother. But dude, I mean, thank you for coming on here, man. Now, is there anything you want to say, man, for everybody that's out there in your area, bro?
It's just give a fuck, you know, like care about your local scene, enjoy it while you got it, go to the shows, buy the merch, support your local bands, support your local people, stay tight, stay together. If you see someone being a fucking dick, being racist, being homophobic, stand up, be an ally, even if you're not gay, even if that's not what you're into, stand up and like don't let people bully people, you know, and just try to make this world a better place. As cheesy as that sounds, like that's all it really takes is someone being like, no, fuck you, stop. And then sometimes they'll be like, oh shit, like other people think this, but you know, and just, you know, keep your scene tight, you know, be good to your family, be loyal to your friends, and work hard.
Exactly, brother. And I
And
couldn't have
buy
said
my
it better,
pizza.
man. And I was gonna say too, bro. I mean, when it comes to everything in life, man. I mean, I would always tell people, man, the scene is all we got, dude. So we gotta
Yeah.
take care of it, bro.
Dude,
You know, I mean,
it saved my life. Like
yeah,
if it wasn't for punk rock, like I was telling you earlier, like my dad is like a sketchy ex-con biker, and I was raised around that.
yeah,
And then punk rock got me away from that mentality and that, like, finally I'm like, oh wait a minute, like there's there's diversity and there's all this other stuff, and like you don't have to be racist. I'm like, that's amazing. And like, you know,
yeah.
when freshman year kid, when I told my dad I was at Sharp in 2001, I was 15 years old, he tried to fist fight me and I didn't see him for 2 years. He like kicked me out, you know, like it was
Damn.
like a big deal, you know. So, you know, don't be afraid to stand up and be who you are, and you know, protect the people that can't protect themselves if you can.
No, exactly. Hell yeah, dude. Especially that, bro. Because I mean, like you said, man, we gotta take care of each other, bro. So that goes goes a long way, man.
Yeah, beautiful.
Dude, but bro, I appreciate you jumping on this, man. Don't hang up yet, brother. Everybody out there,
Yeah.
of course, once again, Spider here, working class.